Hey, I'm Jay Kumar, the Bassmaster, and this is your Abu Garcia Revo Humminbird Minn Kota Top 5 Tips and Trends of the Month. Number 1. Alright, the ICAST Fishing Tackle Trade Show just went down, and here's what me and the guys saw down there in terms of trends and new stuff. A couple quick disclaimers are that every fishing company does not go to ICAST, and we definitely didn't see everything that was there.
Let's roll.
Guess what the number 1 trend was? Yup, urchins, but it wasn't raining urchins there. I saw maybe 10 new ones, half of which are probably look just like the ones that are out there already. But I want to mention 2. One is the new Rapala CrushCity The CEO, which got an ICAST award. Now, the 2 big deals with this urchin bait is that it has a little different shape and it incorporates glass powder.
Nothing like fresh powder.
Yeah, glass powder, so it sinks slowly without needing a weight. And number 2 was, for me, the best new or different take on the whole urchin thing. The Lunker Hunt Chimera worm. Now, I like it because you can fish it like a worm, a shaky head, Nico rig, whatever. Or if you really want just that urchin profile, you can just pop the tail off.
Pretty cool, huh?
All right, one last deal I want to mention is
small urchins.
It seems to be an emerging trend because like the normal or regular size ones have been out, and you can really only go so far big from there, but you can get real small if you want to. For example, BaitFuel came out with this bait called the NanoSpike. It's supposedly for crappie, but it had a lot of interest from bass folks. I think that's a 9mm bait, and Strike King came out with its new chucker urchin that has 7mm and 10mm sizes. So maybe look for guys fishing these smaller urchins in different ways, notably deeper. All right, that's it for now on the urchin trend. Number 2. How big can you go in bass fishing?
Bigger, much bigger.
Yeah, that's been a trend at ICAST the last few years. Bigger baits and also smaller baits. I'm gonna hit the bigger trend here, and really what we're mostly talking about is glide baits. The glide baits aren't necessarily getting bigger or longer, there's just more and more of them. More people are learning to fish them, and you see them more and more often on the top trails. So with that and the fact that the handmade ones are big bucks, if you can hit buy fast enough before the next batch is gone.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, more like for a couple $100. Anyhow, every ICAST for the past couple years, the bigger companies and a few smaller ones have been rolling out more and more affordable glides. Real quick, here's a few of many at ICAST that caught our eye. First is the 6-inch, I believe, Buka brand Trick Herring. Seems like Mike Buka of Bullshad might have created the most affordable herring glide yet. And you know if he designed it, it'll be good. Next up is what seems to be a really well-designed and highly thought-out new glide from Rapala called the Strida PXR 180, 180 meaning it's 7 inches. It was designed by Bassmaster Elite Pro Carl Joachimson, who's a glide bait nut.
He's a nut.
Yeah, he is, and he designed this bait with a nutty level of detail. Here's just a couple cool things about it. Number 1, it has a weight that you can screw into it to make it fall. It's part of a new Rapala bait weighting system called the Screw Diver, not driver, diver. Some of the colors have a contrasting color painted in the joint to help fish to commit. Now, Carl says it's ready to fish with heavy-duty split rings and a new VMC Redline heavy-duty trebles. Now, I asked him why so heavy-duty, and he said,
Barramundi's a bloody big fish.
All right, he didn't really say that, but I bet he was thinking it. Anyhow, a couple more glides real quick are the Fish Lab Pro Hydra Glide, which was designed by another swim bait nut, or actually a nut in general, Bill Seamantel. Now, he wanted a glide that you could also fish fast, and apparently those fins help you do that. And lastly, I'm going to shout out the new Throwback Baits Metro Glide LT. This will be an ABS plastic version of their Metro Glide that will cost $90 less. We saw a lot more glides at ICAST, but there's you a taste. And if you don't fish these baits yet and wonder why guys do it, well, that's right, and that band name fits the trend too. Number 3. How finesse are you?
Finesse is my middle name.
Well, okay then, but are you this finesse? And how about this? Are you willing to pick up a light action, long spinning rod or maybe a BFS setup with ultra thin braid to skinny fluoro and fish a bait that you can barely feel? I mean, at least compared to traditional bass baits? Well, Dan Miguel and the other crazy peeps at Great Lakes Finesse kicked off the ultra finesse or micro finesse trend at ICAST a couple of years back. They proved that huge smallmouths in clear water not only get caught on these small baits, at times they actually seem to prefer them. Since then, a lot of companies have started to and are still doing it, rolling out different sizes of minnows from big to really small for the jig head minnow bite. Now on the small side, that's below 3 inches, which is crappie bait territory. I mean, a lot of these minnows are the same size or smaller than a Z-Man Finesse TRD, which is 2 3/4 inches. And I guess if it's not already, netting that Finesse TRD might end up being the power fishing of ultra finesse.
Say what?
Could happen. All right, anyhow, for the last few years, the trend has been toward these crappie-sized minnows. And also at ICAST, we're seeing more and more actual crappie baits. All the major companies now have them, and as of this ICAST, that now includes Rapala CrushCity. Now, a lot of these little crappie baits are in great colors too, some of which haven't caught on in bass fishing yet. Like the milk colors, like this 2-inch Bobby Garland Baby Shad, for example. Maybe because of the sheer number of these baits out now, and crappie fishermen and part-time crappie anglers like Bassmaster Elite Pro Brandon Lester fishing them, and because of forward-facing sonar, now these folks are learning that, hey, these crappie baits catch bass too. Here's a quick example of what I mean. Check out these 2 fish caught by the BassBlaster's Brett Jolly this year while he was fishing for crappie with little soft plastics.
That's very impressive finessing.
Yes, it is, and it might be coming to a lake near you. Number 4. I ran down the top trends at ICAST, and there's also a few of what I call micro trends. Things that kind of indicate a trend but aren't full blown yet.
That sounds a little sketchy.
Well, maybe. But either way, the biggest micro trend I think I saw is shallow jerkbaiting. I'll give you the 4 data points that point to that for me. Now, the first is forward-facing sonar, which revived the jerkbait and made it a staple for a lot more people than it ever had been. Now, right around that time, Hank Cherry won back-to-back Bassmaster Classics on a jerkbait, and people found out, hey, he throws that thing all year. Then 3 years after that, in 2024, Justin Hamner won that classic on a jerkbait. So that's 2 data points, forward-facing sonar for giving the jerkbait new life, and then the biggest tournament in bass fishing being won 3 times on a jerkbait. Now, the third data point for me is when Brent Ayler and Justin Lucas won the MLF team tournament deal in Louisiana last November. Now, one of the things they were doing was fishing a jerkbait shallow over grass. Brent said he started with a regular jerkbait but had to go to a small Lucky Craft Slender Pointer 97 so it wouldn't dive deep and get hung. And then the fourth data point is that this year we now have 2 new full-size jerkbaits specifically designed for fishing shallow. Now, Brandon Palaniuk added the new Megabass 110 SSR, not the SR, SSR, when it was one of the baits that he fished to finish second at the Santee Cooper Elite. Then at the ICAST show, Bill Lewis came out with a jerkbait also made for fishing super shallow, called the Snapstick 110. Now that bait was designed by MLF Bass Pro Tour Pro Matt Becker for the exact same reason. He wanted a full-size jerkbait that he can fish shallow. And the bills of both of these baits are a little bit different, kind of L-shaped, a little cupped, so the baits don't dive as deep, which is the point. And because they're 110s, you also get 3 trebles on each bait, which you mostly wouldn't with a smaller size jerkbait. So what do you think? Is it a micro trend?
It's happening.
I think so too. Number 5. Has the hottest bait over the last few years at ICAST gotten a little cooler? Well, not stone cold, but at this year's ICAST show, the whole minnow deal definitely cooled down some. I mean, the urchin deal steamrolled everything so much this year that I wouldn't be surprised if people didn't even know that Sakamata shads and Lab Series minnows were in stock somewhere. I mean, it's kind of like that minnow love. Yeah, like that. Alright, it's not like it's over, far from it. I just think that with the barrage of minnows and jig heads we saw the last few years at ICAST, maybe all these companies had a bunch of pent-up ideas of baits that they actually wanted to get out. And maybe some fishermen are like this with minnows now.
We're good.
Alright, even though the chasing the minnow bite was way down at ICAST this year, there is one minnow I need to call out. And that is the new 4.5-inch Robo Worm Robo Minnow. I mean, amazing Robo Worm colors in a minnow?
Sign me up.
Yeah, man. And in case you're wondering, it looks like there will be at least one morning dawnish color. Maybe next ICAST we'll see more minnows in a rainbow of colors because people will be like,
Could I be wrong? But since you've been gone, you cast a spell, so break it.
all right, the Abu Garcia Voltic Reel shout out of the month goes to Bassmaster Elite Pro Hunter Shryock for this next level fish hold. That might look crazy to you, and maybe Hunter was a little crazy from the heat, but word is that actually makes fish calm down, putting them upside down like that. I mean, that one didn't even flop or wriggle or anything. Have you ever tried doing that? Let me know, man. All right, that's all I got for you this month. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Abu Garcia Revo and Humminbird Minn Kota. See you next month with the top tips and trends. God bless you.